Hey, I'm Tim Kou.
I'm Christopher Kou.
And we are Method to Madness Films, and we are going to be talking through the first and second episodes of Red Hood fan series as a director's commentary.
Yeah, and cinematographer's commentary.
Yes, that as well.
So we'll just walk you through the episode, and we'll talk about some of the fun things that we did behind the scenes.
Yeah, some of the things that we learned, and even maybe some of the challenges that we had shooting the episode, and really all that we learned throughout the process, because it was a great learning process, and it was
we learned a lot. Yeah.
We learned a lot.
So be sure to tune in at the end too, because we have an exciting announcement for our upcoming project.
Without further ado, here's our director's commentary. Okay, so opening titles. We wanted to open this episode up with something that just really set the tone for the world that we're putting.
Set the tone and set the stage too for the story.
Ian crafted a story that supposedly it takes place after Batman disappears, and so we needed to sort of build an environment and a world where you don't have Batman. What does that look like? What does Gotham look like? So at first it was just going to be like a newscaster just saying Batman's gone and Gotham's in a dump right now. And I thought this was a really great opportunity to introduce some original characters, Janine Vanderbilt and Matthias Crofthammer.
That's me.
That's
anybody
Chris. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
And
I look different with glasses, just like Clark Kent.
Right. You don't know who he is. But these characters sort of, in this whole conversation, sort of describe the condition that Gotham is in.
And it really sets the stage for the story, too. It gets the story going right off the bat.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Right. So we see Red Hood here interacting with one of these homeless people that, does he have some sort of relationship with him? He says, thanks for your help from last week. And so there's this sort of sense that
there's a camaraderie between Red Hood and the homeless.
And then we learn that the homeless are disappearing and dying from Janine Vanderbilt, and this line coming up.
It's Gotham. People die. Yeah, I get the best line.
That's my favorite line. When I wrote that, I was just kind of chuckling to myself and patting myself on the back.
And then this shot. I love this shot.
This shot was a lot of fun to shoot. I mean, this is our studio back lot, and that was Matt on the left, and me on the right, and then Josh coming up in the middle.
Comes in the middle.
Yep.
And then this reflection on his goggles.
This was just one of those happy accidents. It was like, that's cool, and it happens to be the reflection off of
their lab coats.
The lab coats, yeah. So here we actually see what's going on in Gotham. We see these hoodlums just kind of harassing the homeless people, and then we introduce Red Hood. Now I built the costume from scratch out of EVA foam. It took me probably 3 weeks to do. And
the mask is by
Dark Knight Effects. Yeah, in Texas. So yeah, shout out to him. This is actually an in-studio shot. We shot this portion of this scene in studio, and we matched the lighting from outside. And then as soon as I come in here, we cut to...
Which is why there's no smoke in the background.
Right, yeah, we were going to add smoke later on, but, didn't have time. And...
And then a lot of these, some of you might know, but Ian can't see in that mask.
Right.
Especially when the lights
are on.
So a lot of this is filmed with the eye lights off, and I painted in like all the lights.
Yeah, the lights are they're an added special effect for some of these shots, and some of the choreography here too. We did it, we didn't have a lot of time to choreograph stuff because we were working with Ian, and Ian was in Michigan, so we did a lot of choreography without him there, and then he had to learn the choreography when he came, into the studio, and so a lot of this was just him learning all of the moves on set day of, and especially this second portion of the fight scene. Huge props to him, because this is him learning how to do the choreography as we're shooting in frigid cold. It's like 18 degrees, and he was able to pull everything off just the way we choreographed it before he came down. Some people complained about how long the fight scene was, right? Because Jason should be able to whip these guys up pretty quickly, and we get that.
I do feel like that.
We get that.
He's supposed to be toying with them a little bit.
Yeah,
And then this guy with the black jacket, which is Josh, he's kind of like the big baddie of the episode.
I also wanted to, and this didn't really carry through to any of the other episodes, I wanted to establish that there were some more trained, highly trained, more dangerous characters in this Red Hood gang that
were competent.
And could fight and hold their own against Jason Todd, at least for a little while.
I mean, when he gets serious, it doesn't last long.
Like here, he just said, I'm after he gets shocked, he's like, that's it, it's my turn, and he just whips him up real fast. The other thing was, quite honestly, this episode, before we added the beginning interview and the stuff with Craig at the end, was just the fight scene. And so if we had a quick fight scene the way Jason would have, beat up these guys, we would have had like
a 1 minute
to 2 minute episode if we stretched it out. And we wanted something longer than that, because I think people deserved something more than just like a 2 minute fight or a 1 minute fight. So that's why we wanted to build some of this character and the story and the relationships between
this syringe thing.
Yeah. So the syringe,
it was a subplot that we had that the Red Hood gang is going around injecting people with this stuff. So
that was supposed to carry through into the other episodes as well, with Tim being injected later on, and then Jason having to fight the Hatchet with who's pumped up on venom, but that didn't happen the way that we had first envisioned it. But this this scene here, just we wanted to further establish what's going on with Gotham, and there's a threat in Gotham,
and somebody's taking out the homeless people.
Yeah,
and
somebody's killing them. Right, people are dying.
It's definitely a subplot, kind of the plot. It's almost not a subplot. But, yeah. So you get Craig here, and he's got a problem.
Yeah, he keels over and he dies. Not good. So the question of what happened to Craig, what's going on with him, what was that syringe about? Those are all things that we wanted to explore and answer in follow-up episodes. And just the way things went, we weren't able to fully flesh those things out, unfortunately. But producing this, again, it was a great experience to learn a whole lot of new things. We learned a lot about our process and how we put things together, how what kind of things we need lined up before we get into production and stuff. So this episode, producing this episode, was
good learning experience.
To me, that's the most important thing about this episode, is we learned a whole lot from it, and hopefully that's going to play into more of what we do in future projects and stuff. But we thought everybody did a great job in this particular episode, and we were really happy with the result of it.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect. We wish we had more time. We had
especially
a set
with the choreography and Well,
Yeah.
a lot of the things.
We had a set release date though, and if we were able to be flexible on the release date and push that back another week or two, I think we could have
added some
things and fleshed some things out.
With the time, I think pretty good result.
Yeah. So let's take a look at episode 2. Now, episode 2, I have to say, wasn't originally episode 2. It was
supposed to be episode 3.
It was originally episode 3, and episode 2 was supposed to have Nightwing in it. I was going to play Nightwing. I was really excited about playing Nightwing and never got to. It had more of that foundational story with the homeless dying and more of the syringe stuff and more. It developed that whole story a little more, and it also showed Jason Todd doing more detective work. But because...
And wiping the floor with some guys.
Yeah, in more of a Batman kind of way. But because that didn't happen, we had to shoot episode 3, the way we did it. And here we opened with this chase scene.
This blonde girl.
This blonde girl in her purple shirt. What's that all about?
So some of you guys figured it out.
Yeah, she's on screen for a long time. We thought we were just going to insert a little bit of an Easter egg. And everybody is like, Stephanie Brown! And I was like, whoa. It was Chris's idea to throw her in there as an Easter egg to see how many fans would notice who she is. But
way more than I expected knew who this was.
Yeah. But that opening scene, we wanted to,
be gritty.
We wanted it to be gritty
dark.
and the whole, scary chase scene kind of thing. And so I wrote that, choreographed the chase, had all the guys come out, and we filmed that chase scene in a night. And we were exhausted afterwards. But including Stephanie Brown in here was a lot of fun. And Adriana did a great job, with her expressions and everything, and just had a lot of fun doing that one. Yeah, wanted to talk a little bit about the music coming into here.
Yeah. This is an original score by Timothy Kou.
Yeah, so that was, right there was just sort of a hint of the Red Hood theme, and then working into this scene. This part has a slightly different tone, so we kick it off with a 1960s Batman reference here. This da 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 da, and it sort of kicks off this kind of fun fight scene for us. Changes the tone of the show a little bit. We get into a more Robin-esque theme here, and this is an original theme that I wrote. And when I was working on this theme, I wanted something that was really versatile, something I could use in more of a heroic tone.
Which is right here.
Right here.
This is the first statement of the theme.
Yeah. And then something that we could use kind of fun, but then also later on you get to hear the theme in more of a sentimental, more intimate,
more emotional scenes.
Yeah. So the theme itself is pretty versatile.
And we do know that it is daylight here.
Yeah.
Some of you have mentioned that.
Yeah, some of you mentioned like, oh, you realize it goes from nighttime to daytime to nighttime to daytime.
We know.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. But that's just one of the perks of having to shoot a fight scene, in the evening, and you only have one evening to do it. The chase and the fight scene were shot on 2 completely different days. And we had Cameron and Ian coming down from Michigan, so time was really limited for us. We only had one day, and so we had to figure out when we could shoot this. Do we start at 6 in the evening when it's still bright outside?
Because it's in the summer.
Yeah, because it's in the summer, and we finish it at 10 o'clock, or do we start when it gets dark and then shoot until 1 o'clock in the morning? And we had to shoot when it was still bright.
Okay, so the choreography here, well, I mean, Ian choreographed most of this the scene here, and
he only had 2 weeks to do it, which is not a lot of time.
Sounds like a lot of time maybe, but yeah, when you're choreographing a full fight scene, it really isn't.
So this last bit here with Cameron, we didn't get to choreograph this part of the scene. So basically, we had Cameron with his sword, go swing your sword around, hit people, and don't hurt anyone. And
yeah, we'll get in tight with the camera and see what we can make of it.
And Cameron had a lot of fun shooting this scene too, because he just got to do whatever he wanted. You know, working on Robin's costume too was a lot of fun. I designed the costume from scratch, I sketched it out, and then Ian and I worked in studio to cut out all the pieces, and I just finished it up with painting and weathering, and yeah.
So this scene is actually the first scene that we shot for the whole Red Hood fan series.
And this being episode 3 originally, maybe 2020 hindsight, maybe we should have just start with episode 1, but this is the first scene that we shot. And
I think it worked out with scheduling that Cameron was able to be here, and that was kind of how this happened.
Yeah. But this was shot in my brother-in-law's apartment, and I think he had an infant at the time, and so his wife is gone, took the infant out, and
we were there pretty late.
Yeah, we were there pretty late, and so it was kind of a challenging scene just because it's supposed to be sort of an emotionally charged one.
But we don't have a context. Well, as filmmakers, we didn't have a context because we hadn't shot anything else.
And we didn't have a complete script for all of the whole series. So we weren't sure how this fit in with everything. So it was just...
I mean, Ian wrote it, so... at the time we didn't know what was going on with the story, so we just kind of shot it as it was written.
Yeah.
You got some ad lib there from Ian, and then we have this the sandwich. This is kind of funny because we've got some footage here. Let's see if we can pop that up of.
Ian,
I think we took so many takes of this.
The grilled cheese sandwich was burning on the pan as he was. It was a lot of fun. The whole place smelled like grilled cheese sandwich and
burnt grilled cheese.
So the sandwich played a huge role in our filmmaking here. After this, there was a lot of fleshing out. That we
did in the
ended
story.
up doing with the story.
And of course, we had some context. I mean, we did know that this scene was leading into the next scene, which is the workshop scene. So we knew that much, I guess.
Yeah. At this time, we also thought that Jason had already had a conversation with Nightwing, and there were some things in this conversation that would have nodded back to that conversation. As it goes, I think it was a good scene overall in the production side of things.
Yeah,
I liked
happy with the lighting and the coloring.
Yeah, getting the lights in there and being able to work with the space the way we did was pretty good.
Yeah, speaking of the space, there is a whole room in there that we pretend isn't there.
Right. We had to cut out a room in a sense because there's between the room that they're in now and the kitchen, there's the dining room, which is the largest room in the apartment, which we just kind of, using lenses and stuff, we just kind of cut that whole room out.
So you don't feel it. I mean,
yeah, you don't feel it.
If you think about it, it's there, but hopefully you don't notice it too much.
Yeah. At this point, we're still settling into. Here comes the pillow. At this point, we're still settling into how do we light stuff? How do we what kind of
what's the look of the film?
Yeah, what kind of look do we want this film to have? And moving into the workshop scene, which is actually shot months after the other scene.
At this point, we were a lot more comfortable shooting. And, of course, this workshop scene, this was shot in our studio.
Yeah,
right?
This is our studio. So
this is actually our workshop.
Yeah. Those are our tools and stuff and our props. That were just
you got a samurai sword back there. And
which was, Matt constructed the C4. We had more grape soda. The grape soda is a fun story. Ian and I were at Meyer. Across the street from our studio, and we're just trying to figure out what in the world would Jason Todd make into a smoke bomb. I had PVC stuff that I was going to use, and then I saw the grape soda on the shelf. I'm like, Ian, Jason Todd makes smoke bombs out of grape soda. And he's like, yep, that's what he does. So that's the grape soda story. And we just had to kind of put those in there as this is Jason Todd's smoke bomb stash. This scene was,
Tim scored this scene, so are we getting any music here?
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. The music
right,
picks
we'll talk
up,
about that when we get there.
in a little bit. But I did some writing in this scene a little bit. Ian wrote the skeleton of the scene and
mostly what we did was rearranging.
Yeah,
right?
we just rearranged it a little bit, and we wanted to
craft an arc.
Yeah, give the conversation sort of an arc and sort of a climactic point that I could use a very important musical cue, at least important to me, and so. But I thought it was a good scene. We threw some interesting themes in there, themes of lightness and darkness and light shining in the darkness. For some of you,
and
you might know what that is.
To be,
what
deserving.
Deserving to be Batman's. One of Batman's sons, and what that means. What does it mean to be a son of the Batman? And so the whole conversation had a lot of symbolism tied in for us, and we wanted to pull some of that out a little more.
And I think the music really helps with that.
Yeah.
For those of you who are fans of the animated series of Batman, you'll notice the Shirley Walker's theme coming up here.
Yeah, and I
we always intended
I always intended to use that, and I specifically wrote the Robin theme that plays before it,
and in the first fight scene.
Yeah,
as well,
to tie into
the Shirley Walker Batman theme.
Yeah. So scoring this portion of the episode was very personal to me, and I really enjoyed doing it. And this cue here, as he says, that he doesn't deserve to be the son of the Batman, using that cue was just like, I have to do it, because Shirley Walker was such an inspiration to me as a composer.
Her Batman theme is still my favorite Batman theme.
Yeah, mine too. Definitely.
I mean, Danny Elfman is iconic.
Here it is. That's Batman right there.
I don't think any of us deserve to be that.
And that swell to that theme, that
but at the same time,
it works with the conversation so well.
It's who made us to be.
So yeah, it was fun doing this scene actually. The lighting was really great. Working with the soft boxes and stuff that we had, and placing the lights.
And of course, with it being our studio, it
was a comfortable space for us. Yeah.
And yeah, we could really control the light.
Yeah, and we had time to do it too, so that was really important. So I think cinematically, this was one of the better scenes in the whole series, or at least the 2 episodes that we worked on. This was my special license plate, which I drove around.
I kill you too?
Yeah, I drove around town with that for 2 days afterwards, forgetting that it was on there. But this scene, to me, was another crucial scene, because you're supposed to see more of the backstory, more of the use of the serums, and again,
Black Mask has kind of a more integral part to play.
Right.
Yeah.
This was going to be the second time you see Black Mask, so we didn't really film this as a big reveal for Black Mask. But yeah, I mean, I think this scene went well because again, working with Adriana was a lot of fun, and
that is me in the mask.
Yeah, that's Chris in the mask,
and I'm short, so I'm like standing on this.
That's right. That's right. We had you you know, getting out of the car, we had him step up on a stool to make him look 6 feet tall, and then he was walking on a platform, you know, towards Adriana. It was pretty fun, making you look tall and big.
Of course, some of you know that that Stephanie Brown and Black Mask have kind of some history in the comics, and
we wanted to nod to that.
Yeah,
yeah. Is this more than anything? Again, she was just going to be an Easter egg, so that's just sort of a nod to that. And
but we're
and
like,
ultimately,
yeah, we'll have him say her name, Stephanie.
Right. Ultimately, too, if you guys watch the rest of the series, you know that the Black Mask is not really this Black Mask is not really Black Mask. It's Chris's character. But Adriana's scream here.
That was funny.
She recorded in studio here and spent some time doing it. Had to work herself up to it. But yeah, I think we ended well here, even though
we weren't involved in the later episodes. Pretty happy with with our work and what we did here.
We learned a lot. We learned a lot about, you know, just our process and production process.
And how we work, how we like to work, and definitely things that we're putting into effect in upcoming projects and current projects.
Thanks again for watching our director's commentary. It was really great to be a part of this project, to see the fans' reactions and everything.
It was great to interact with the fans and
to get involved with the community and
to see their excitement.
To share our excitement.
Yeah.
You know, because we're really excited about it, and then to see the excitement being shared by people is just really good to see. Yeah. So you know, and we promise that the production value and everything moving forward with our next projects it's just gonna be completely
next level.
Totally next level. We're gonna level up everything. So so what is next?
Stephanie Brown.
The Girl in the Mask. We are producing a new fan film that is
This is feature length.
It's feature length. Yeah. And you saw Adriana Mazurkovic playing Stephanie in the second episode of Red Hood fan series.
But that was just kind of a cameo. This is going to be more of a full treatment of her character.
Right. So
you get to what's she all about?
You get to see feature length Stephanie Brown, which we're super excited about.
Yeah, and of course we'll have the supporting cast, and Batman's going to be a supporting cast in this time.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. You know what? We're going to talk about this a little more in an upcoming announcement video. So be sure to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, make the little bell thing too, so you get alerts, and follow us on Instagram at Method Madness Films. Yep. So until next time, I am Tim Kou.
And I'm Christopher Kou.
And we are Method to Madness Films. Till next time, we'll catch you soon.
Bye.